Welcome to video 6 in this series of tutorials about the Polyend Play Plus. This is a kind of mopping up session where I go through a few bits and pieces that I want to get cleared up before I move on to my next video, which will be about MIDI. In an earlier video I talked about Move and Micromove and said that I was a bit confused about it. I kind of told you how it worked but didn't really demonstrate it. So I've figured it out. I have actually written to Polyend and I'm sure they'll get back to me, and if they come up with anything else I will let you know, but this is what I've figured out. I've soloed this kick drum track, running it here. Let's say for sake of argument I want to move this particular step, so I'm going to hold shift and press that step and it turns blue. So this is the step that I'm going to move. So if I press play, I've got move selected. I could turn the move button here or use the screen knob. I'll use the screen knob because it's got that little detent and I can hear the click, and that takes us by one pad to the right. Now notice you can't hear it, can you? So stop it. Now if you look carefully where it was, there's a kind of a ghost. You've got a faint blue light there. Alright, it's moved here, but you can't hear it, can you? The only way you can hear its new position is to press shift once. That gets rid of the ghost where it originally was, and then again to turn this white, so to deselect it. Now listen, now it's playing. So that's how Move works. I don't really understand the logic of that, but that's how it works. Just going to undo that. Micromove works as expected, so I'm going to select this, I'm going to run the track, I'm going to press the second button here to turn on Micromove, and I'm moving it slightly late, and let's move it slightly earlier, and that works fine. And so let's reselect that. So if I press stop, I've moved that back 10 steps, 10 points if you like, and if I deselect that and I hold that pad, you can see it has gone back and it is playing slightly early. So double tap that to undo that. That clears up how to use Move and Micromove. I'm not quite sure of the logic behind it, but as soon as I hear back from Polyend, I will let you know in a subsequent video. Another thing I dealt with in a previous video was adding extra bars. So let's stay with this bass drum track here. So if I hold shift, there's only one bar of all these tracks. So let's make this into 64 bars. So I'm going to hold shift, I'm going to press this one till it flashes, and then press this one and this one. So I've created 4 bars. You can see 4 green lights, all the others only have 1. So the kick drum track is the only one that's got 4 bars, the only one that goes up to 64 steps. But supposing I don't want that, supposing I decide I only want 1 bar or I only want 2 bars. So all you've got to do is to select this track, okay, and then go to track length, which is this knob here, and roll this back from 64 to whatever you want, so 16. Now you can see there's only 1 bar. So if I roll that up to 32, there's 2 bars. Roll it up to 48, 3 bars, and up to 64. Got to let the shift button go and press it again. There's 4 bars again. You can also just go to track length and double tap, and that's taking it back to 16. And you can see now by pressing the shift there's only 1 bar. But obviously the double tap of the top left hand button only works if that was the last thing you did. So that's a good way of getting rid of extra bars you've created using this shift and copy function. So that's one other thing cleared up. In the settings menu there are a couple of things I want to go over. Variation page, Quantize Recording and Overdub Recording. Right, so let's look at variation page. So I've got this set to variation page, separate tracks. So if I press a variation button, so I've got the drum track on the Perk synth. So if I press variation, I know I've done a variation on that, and we see the variations come up just for that track, which is fine. in the settings, if I change this to all tracks, now they all light up, which may be what you want, but of course if you have all of these lit up, it obliterates anything underneath it. So it's probably a much better idea to have separate tracks, so that when you press any of the buttons, it's only that one that comes up. Otherwise, if it's on all tracks, every time you press any of these buttons, they all come up and it obliterates. You can't see the view that's underneath, whether it's the pattern view or the sequencing view. You get the idea. So my recommendation is have it on what I think is the default, which is separate tracks. So that might help you if you're a bit confused by that. And like I said in my last video, I'll probably do some more work with variations before long. Now, these other couple of settings, Quantize Recording on. I think Quantize Recording is off by default, but that means of course when you do a live recording, it won't auto-correct your playing. Now, this depends on a couple of things. You may not want to have your recording quantized. You might like a loose kind of human feel, or you might be very bad at playing and you may not be able to play in time, so in which case have Quantize Recording on. So I'll show you the difference. I'll do a couple of recordings and you'll see the difference. So we'll have it off for the moment. So in here I purposely played that pretty badly, honestly I did, and you can hear it's come out quite badly. It's come out exactly how I played it, out of time. So that's not what I want, so I'm going to delete that. So this time I'm going to press settings, I'm going to turn Quantize Recording on. Now this time I'll play it fairly sloppily, but it should correct it so that it should snap to the grids. Here we go then. Now I didn't play it particularly well or particularly badly, but it has snapped, as you can hear, to the steps on the grid. I will probably leave Quantize on in the settings, Quantize Recording on. The other thing is Overdub Recording is set to off at the moment. Now if you select Overdub Recording on in this menu, notes you play in live record, what I'm doing now, will replace existing notes in the track. So let's turn that on. So I've got some notes. So if I play a different set of notes, it should replace these. What can I do? Let's. I'll just play that note over and over again. So here we go. And that's replaced that. Let's undo that. Now let's turn this Overdub Recording off. Now, with it off, existing notes will be retained, ignoring any incoming. You'll only be able to record notes onto empty steps. I'll try and do what I did last time, see what happens. See what it's done? It's forced my playing onto previous notes. If I'd had Quantize turned off, that might have been a different result. You can hear all the original notes are there, so I just get rid of that one, that one, that one. So what happened there, it rejected any incoming notes because Overdub Recording was turned off. So my advice is to have that turned off and have Quantize Recording turned on, but you know, that situation may change depending on what you want. So that was a very short video, just to mop up a few things, make a few things clearer, and like I said earlier today when I made my first video, the next video will definitely be about MIDI. So if you got some value from this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel, and you'll see me in my next one.